Hey guys, Bilko367 here, and welcome to the first episode of the F1 MyStory Career Mode. The MyStory Career Mode is going to take place on the 2019 F1 game. That's only because I believe that it is the best career mode of the past few F1 games. So let's start this video with what the MyStory Career Mode is and what it isn't. So firstly, the MyStory Career Mode is not a Let's Play of the F1 2019's career mode. It instead is a story that uses the career mode as a base. So this career mode is going to be a reactive story in the sense that I am not going to script a lot of it. I will be scripting things such as interview segments and storylines in the game. However, all those storylines will be based off what happens in the races. This, on the contrary to me scripting what happens in the races and then building a story around it, I am purely just scripting the stories around the races. However, that does not mean that I will attempt to create moments in the races. I will be using flashbacks in this career mode to create those moments. I will not lie in that sense. However, the race results, the championship, and what else happens in the game will be completely up to the game. I have no input on what the game does. I am not modding it. This is a completely vanilla career mode. And I will be creating a story out of what happens in the career mode. Regarding the story in the career mode, we do have the two F2 rivals in the F1 series. And for the F2 series, I did actually script it a little bit, in the sense that I made sure the three scenarios had what happened that I want to have happen. So, in Barcelona, we let through Lucas Weber. In Austria, we beat Devin Butler. But in the final race of the championship, we lost the championship to Devin Butler. So Devin is the Formula 2 champion in this series. In this playthrough, I'm going to run 105 difficulty AI, and in the first season it will be a full season of 21 races, and then in future seasons there will be a set calendar of 16 races. When doing contract negotiations in the F1 2019 game, you have the option to add a resource points bonus. I will be limiting myself to only adding up to 25% of a bonus, unless the storyline calls for it to be higher. Other than that, it will not go above 25%, because otherwise I think that the 2019 game can be a bit broken with above 25%. Also in this series, only the races will be shown. Qualifying and the practice sessions will not. I sort of want to recreate Aratha's My Driver career mode. This is heavily inspired by the My Driver career mode, however it's a lot more vanilla than the My Driver career mode, so that's ultimately what we're going for. Anyways, I think that's all for the introduction to the series. If I forgot to put anything in this voiceover, it will appear on screen right now. But other than that, I hope you all enjoy these videos. It's been a project I've wanted to do for quite a while, but I've never really gotten around to it. So without any further ado, let's kick it over to Seb, who's going to read us out the free practice notes for the Australian Grand Prix.
The 2019 Formula 1 grid looked to be set in stone until Aussie Red Bull driver Daniel Ricciardo left his team for Renault. This move shocked the F1 silly season into life, with many driver moves in the wake of the announcement. The first two questions on everyone's mind is the future of Carlos Sainz and who will take the second Red Bull seat. Pierre Gasly, who controversially lost out to Formula 2 champion Devin Butler, who took the seat, with many people in the paddock saying Pierre Gasly was robbed of his chance with a top team. After Alonso's retirement, everybody believed that Carlos Sainz would take the vacant seat at McLaren, but that wasn't to be either. The McLaren seat was taken by Formula 2 driver Lucas Weber. This left two questions on everyone's mind. Where does Formula 2 runner-up Lachlan Parkin and Carlos Sainz play into this? When the seat opened at Haas, Roman Grosjean announced that he'd be taking a sabbatical. Ultimately, it was a Ferrari junior status that had Lachlan Parkin beat Carlos Sainz to that seat, and thus the 2019 Formula 1 grid was formed.
Hello everyone, Bilko367 here. Welcome to episode 1 of the MyStory Career Mode for the Australian Grand Prix here in Melbourne for our first race in Formula 1. Not gonna lie, my nerves are quite high, but all of our training through F2, F3, and all the junior series has led up to this point. Ferrari have put their faith in us, and we will deliver for them. If you enjoy this series, give a thumbs up, subscribe, and now we're going to kick it over to Seb for the grid order.
Pole position for today's Grand Prix goes to Valtteri Bottas, with Mercedes teammate Lewis Hamilton locking out the front row with him. The Ferraris of Vettel and Leclerc line up in 3rd and 4th, and Verstappen rounds out the top 5 in 5th. Now, you'd be forgiven if you thought it was still the 2018 F2 Championship, with Devon Butler and Lachlan Parkin taking 6th and 7th respectively. With that, Perez and the two McLarens of Weber and Norris round out the top 10. Kevin Magnussen and Hulkenberg line up together on row 6. We all know these two do not like each other, so keep an eye on them during the race. The rest of the grid are as follows: Raikkonen, Ricciardo, Gasly, Stroll, Giovinazzi, Russell, Kubica, and Daniel Kvyat, who takes an early tactical engine penalty.
So here's our strategy for the Australian Grand Prix. We're going to be running softs to hards, pitting on lap 9, and we're running 31.5 laps of fuel, so we're running just about 2.5 laps over the race distance. And here we are for our first Grand Prix, our first Formula 1 race of our career. We go to 5 red lights. And it's lights out and away we go. We get a good start compared to Devon Butler. We've actually swamped him off the start. We're running well alongside him now. And going into turn 1, we're going to try and go round the outside. We make a bit of contact. And we sweep through to make the move. So we're up into P6 in our debut. And there's Lucas Weber having a battle with him. As we go down into turn 2, Leclerc and Verstappen ahead are having a bit of a ding-dong, and Weber has gotten past, Weber has gotten past Devon Butler. We cut the curb there a bit, nearly crashed the car, and we move on to this little battle pack behind us. That's Weber ahead of Devon Butler, so Devon Butler has gotten the start all wrong. He's behind Lucas Weber. And now that we're going to cut back on towards our POV, we're out-revving the engine a little bit. And as we head up towards the fast chicane, we're in high energy mix. As we cut left, cut the curb a little bit. That's why we have regular corner cutting stringency on. And as we go down into, I think this is turn 12. I'm not sure. Turn 10 in the new track, I think. As we cut across, that is our first lap done in Formula 1. We just got to make it around this corner here, and we'll have finished our first ever lap in Formula 1. Valtteri Bottas leads us on lap 1. We go down into turn 1. You can see the proximity arrow there. Lucas Weber is closing up on us, so we're not out of the woodwork yet. As a matter of fact, Devon Butler's also quite close behind us as well. So it looks like we're really in a 3-pack here between the three of us. And looking on the mini-map as well, it looks like Sergio Perez has broken away from his little battle pack, or that might have actually been Lance Stroll. One of the racing points either way. We defend from Lucas Weber into the little chicane. We go onto the back straight, Lakeside Drive. My favourite part of the track. It's also where I watched the Grand Prix from last year, and we'll be watching from it this year. As we cut over the curb, again, regular corner cutting. We don't care. And into the right-hander again. We've gotten a bit lucky these last few laps, but coming on to lap 3, DRS will be enabled, so we're not going to be as lucky when it comes to defending against the other teams. And as a matter of fact, you can already see there, as we cut onto Lando Norris's POV, that the four of us have created a little battle pack, a little group pack, as we're already pulling away from Lando Norris, and that's what I was talking about. DRS has been enabled this lap. We're going to have to pull a 1 second gap, or we're going to have to use up a lot of battery and fuel to defend. As we go onto the grass there, we've almost put it in the wall. Good save by us. Weber's right up behind us, but he's not going to make a move into turn 3 at the moment. As we cut into turn 4. So this is probably my favourite part of the circuit. Not to watch from, but It's definitely the most technical part of the circuit. We come to the right-hander. Obviously much faster in the new games, but here we go. We go to the inside here. We cut across in the braking zone a little, but we do successfully descend our position. This is where it might get ugly. Here we go. Lucas Weber, is he going to make a move on us? He goes round the outside of us on Lakeside Drive. Can he hold it? We cut back to our POV. He squeezed us to the inside, but we've got the move. I don't know if he squeezed us to the inside, but I think we did. I think he did. And we've lived on to survive another day. Going around the outside there is not the move you want to do, so we were able to hold the position pretty easily. And as we cut on to lap 4, we come on to lap 4. This is the lap where DRS will be at its most effective. They're gonna have DRS in both these two zones as well, not just that last zone. As a matter of fact, our exit was horrific. Lucas Weber is alongside us. We're gonna have to try and make a move around the outside to defend. Instead, no, we don't. We brake early. We cut back in. We use the slipstream. Even though Weber has the DRS, we have the slipstream on him. I believe slipstream is more powerful than DRS. We're going to go round the outside. Late braking. Late as you like. We go wide. But Weber doesn't put up too much of a fight. He's on the inside, but we get the move done. And it's invited Butler, but Butler can't make the move there. So we are successfully back up into P6. Unfortunately for us, it's only going to be some time before Butler eventually passes us. That Red Bull is just so much faster than the group around us. So we're just going to have to hold on. And then maybe our goal is actually P7 in this race, to beat Weber and to beat the racing point of Perez. As we look behind us, Butler and Weber go side by side. Butler gets ahead of Weber. He does it in the braking zone. And we cut onto this screen here. Yeah, he's done it. So Butler is successfully ahead of Weber, and speaking of being ahead of Weber, here comes Perez. Perez down the inside of Weber, so Weber loses 2 spots in one DRS zone. So we cut back onto our POV. At the end of lap 4, we're still holding P6, but now here comes Devon Butler, our Formula 2 rival. Will Devon try his usual antics to try and pass us, or is he going to do it cleanly for once? It doesn't matter though, as we're just staying ahead of him. He's got the DRS on us, but he's just not closing up enough on this straight. The one thing that this Haas Ferrari might have over the Red Bull Honda is its straight line speed. So we're just going to have to defend in a straight line. Anyways, Butler comes up towards us, and no move has been done. He can't get the move done. He's not close enough. So we live to fight again, at the very least, until we reach Lakeside Drive again. No matter what lines we try, Butler is just clambering all over the back of us. He's just not leaving. And as we go down into the chicane, Jeff actually tells us that the grip levels start falling away soon. That's earlier than I imagined. We all know that this Haas has got terrible tyre wear. Maybe we're seeing it here. We might have to deal with tyre wear in future races. In Australia, it's usually a pretty easy one-stop. So it shouldn't be too bad, but at races like China, we might have to deal with it. Anyways, we go back to the race. Butler has closed right up behind us. I wouldn't be surprised if he makes a move going into lap 6 on the 2 straights. As we go through the little Mickey Mouse section, the slow section, we have a terrible line through there. This is going to invite Butler to have a cheeky look at us. We go into Rich, we go into overtake, and here's Butler just sneaking his nose alongside. But can we defend? We go early on the brakes. Butler is right alongside us. He's got a bit of front wing damage I've just seen. Butler has given us a bit of contact. There's still some contact, but for the most part it was clean. We go early on the brakes. We try to do the switchback, but Devon parks it right in front of us. Devon's up ahead of us. So Devon in the Red Bull has restored Merc, Ferrari, Red Bull order. As we slot back into our starting position of P7, and we now have to defend off Perez behind us. As a matter of fact, speaking of Perez fending off Perez, he goes down the inside. We give him the space, but he's just unable to make the move. Now as we head towards the chicane, here comes Perez around the outside. He's not going to be able to do it though. As I said earlier, around the outside is a dangerous move. And we've actually got DRS on Devon here. This is just going to help us defend. I don't think we're going to get past Devon anytime soon. So as we go into the final sector, we want to try and stay inside Butler's DRS range. If we can stay inside his DRS range, it will help us massively in defending Perez. Perez in that Mercedes-powered Racing Point will be a massive threat on the straight, so we've just got to stay ahead of him in that sense. And using the DRS is one of our defense tools. And as Perez goes down the inside, we go late on the brakes, we shove him to the inside and we keep the position. We can tell that it's just going to be a matter of time before Perez passes us. He's just so much quicker on the straights and we're not using our battery to defend. We wasted our battery very early in the race and there's a bit of contact similar to what happened with Devon, except we didn't touch Devon. He's parking on the apex and Perez is through. We're struggling here. Both Red Bull and Perez have gotten through and now Weber's behind us. We don't really want to drop behind Weber, as we want to try and stay as close to the top end of the points as we can, just in case anything happens and we might have to drop down out of the points. Anyways, we're running super close to Perez, but that line through there was quite compromised. And here comes Weber. He's going to try and go down the inside. We've shut the door on him as we go towards the outside. We go after Perez. We've got a better line through this section than Perez. We get a little bit taily on the exit. Can we make a move on Perez though? We go aggressive on the inside to take the move. We go in his inside. Perez locks up. That could invite Weber, but Weber can't make the move. We're back up into P7 ahead of Perez. But how long will that last? We saw how quickly Perez swallowed us up. This might even just happen on the next few straights. We're going to defend with everything we've got. As we run on the grass there, compromised entry and exit into the final corner. The final corner has been our Achilles heel. Yeah, here comes Perez. He's well ahead of us. Here comes Lucas Weber. They're both ahead of us. Perez stays ahead of us. We get past Lucas Weber though. Shades of 2017 when the Renault and two other cars, I don't remember which other cars they were, were battling side by side into turn one. Anyways, we can't get Perez. We run a little wide. But we managed to keep Weber behind us. We're still in P8, which is not a bad position. We're still ahead of Kevin Magnussen, our teammate. So the boys at Haas, the team at Haas must be looking at us. And we're looking pretty good. Anyways, we ride over the curb there very aggressively. We're doing everything we can to stay within Perez's DRS range, but he's just too fast for us. And Weber is just too close to us so that way we can push on without having to worry about a threat from behind. As we cut the corner there, we get a track limits warning. At first, we've been a bit aggressive on those curbs. As we go late on the brakes, we're not going to make a move on Perez here, but we are going to get as close as we can. We're going to use this opportunity to get the DRS and get past Perez into the next few straights if we can. We're also saving battery and fuel, so that way we can use it at the end of the race if we need. We've got the DRS. Perez is just too far away. This is going to be another defense tool. Here comes Lucas Weber. He's alongside us, but we're matching him pace for pace. We used up all of our battery. He goes up the inside. We squeeze him to the apex a bit, and his exit speed is compromised. We keep the position. But again, into turn 2 here, he goes up the inside. Very aggressive on the brakes there from Lucas. But again, we just managed to hang it on around the outside. We're just getting swamped by everyone around us. And it looks like that the group behind us are catching. We've gone a little squirrely on the exit. We covered the inside, but that caused Weber to hit us. And we've touched again. We've made the corner. Weber is all over the back of us. Our tyres are gone. We brake in the middle of the track there to defend, but we actually get a compromised exit. This will invite Lucas Weber to come along our inside. We're going to try and defend it, but we have to give him space this time. We can't just cut him off like we did last time. We're going to go late. We're going to go around his outside. You compromise his line in, and we've just got across him. We almost broke off his front wing, but it's good, clean racing. Using the DRS, we are pitting this lap. So we've got to make sure our pit entry is perfect. As you can see, we're going to go onto the hard tyres. How many people are going to follow us in for the hards? Let's wait and see. We make it into the pit lane here. Speed limit of 60 k's an hour. I totally won't break that. No, don't mind the little cut there that came from a what are they called? A flashback. Thank you, brain. As we go onto the hard tyres, we drop all the way down to dead last place, even behind the Williams. So we've got some catching up to do, but we'll see who joins us on the hard tyres. Or if no one joins us on the hard tyres and we are stuck on the hards, with everyone else being on mediums. As we're out of the pits, we've got some clean air. We're about 3 corners behind the Williams pair. And our goal is to come out ahead of Lucas Weber, who right now is just heading into the first chicane before you enter Lakeside Drive. And we're just about into turn 8? 5? Is this 8? And we've gone sideways. God, my brain is having a battle with itself during this voiceover. Anyways, we're just running our race at the moment. We're going to try and see where we can end up using the undercut onto the hard tyres. We're the first to pit out of anyone. And we're going to see. There's a Mercedes in the pit lane. I can't tell if that's Bottas or Hamilton. But there is a Mercedes in the pit lane. So I wouldn't be surprised if they're following us onto the hards. Anyways, we cut the corner there again. We're very bad boys. And as we go into the third sector, Kevin Magnussen has pit. So Kevin Magnussen must be on the hard tyres. So it seems that he's also struggling with the Haas tyre wear. The optimum strategy around here is to go mediums, but with both Haas on the hards, it's clear what's wrong with the strategy. Russell's in the pits. Russell goes onto the softs, so the Williams look to be doing a 2-stop. No, sorry, he goes onto the hards. He's just that so far behind that he wasn't even in his pit box yet. So it looks like one Mercedes, the 2 Haas, and one of the Williams so far have used our strategy. But what does that mean for every other car? Will every other car go onto the hards with us, or are they going to use the mediums? We are slowly catching the group ahead, so the clear air is going to give us a bit of advantage. But what will the advantage be early into the next stint with the other guys? They're just going to be too fast on those tyres. Anyway, we set our personal best first sector, just 2/100ths faster than our best sector on the softs. More cars are in the pit lane. It looks like all the front runners are in. I can't tell what tyres they'll be going on, but we're still improving. We're 3/100ths faster than our fastest lap. So these hards have not given us much improvement in terms of our pace. But the clear air is what's going to do it for us. Anyways, a gaggle of cars have entered the pit lane. Can't tell which cars they are yet, but it looks like there's a racing point in there. Will it be Perez, the one we're chasing after, or will it be Lance Stroll? Anyways, we come down the start-finish straight. We've got to try and beat these guys out of the pits. Anyways, there goes the racing point. It is Sergio Perez, but we've beaten out Lucas Weber. But the only problem is, we're on the hards, though everyone else is on the mediums. We're going to be sitting ducks here. We've got to defend with everything we've got. We've got to push for more pace. Our advantage will come towards the end of the race. As you can see, Perez looks like he's pulled out at least a 3-second gap, so we're not going to be challenging him and without any issues. Currently sitting P13, but there are still a few cars ahead of us that are yet to pit. Weber has come out 3.4 seconds behind us. We'll see how long it takes for him to catch us. As we're in a bit of a no man's land here. We're about 3 seconds behind Perez, 2.2 seconds behind Perez, and Weber is about 3 seconds behind us. So these next few laps is just about pushing with the clean air that we've got and making sure that we're in a good position by the end of this race. As you can actually see in this clean air, we are conserving on the ERS and the fuel. So we are making sure that we have good battery whenever cars behind us come to fight us. Anyways, here's another set of cars in the pits. Let's see if we can beat them out. We go up to medium on the ERS just to make sure we beat them out of the pits. We beat them all out of the pits. We come out in P8. So, net position restored. We have not changed spots. Anyways, here we cut on to Kevin Magnussen, who's having a battle with Lando Norris. And as you can see, not Lando Norris, Lucas Weber. And as you can see, that, both Haas on the hard, so we've both been struck with issues with the tyre wear. As we cut back onto our POV, going down to turn 1 and now up towards turn 2, we're still conserving on the battery. We're up to about 56%. We might have actually had a lap counter jump there. Oh, I really should do voiceover better. But we cut over the curb there. We're being very aggressive on that curb, trying to find as much pace as we can. As you can see, we're up to 65% battery power. We're even going on lean. We're actually pulling away from Weber, so Kevin Magnussen fighting Lucas Weber here is our dream. He is helping us an immense amount. We're looking good so far in the race. We're just about halfway through the race, about one more lap and then we're at the halfway mark. Sitting in P8, we don't have many issues in sight. Perez has pulled away from us, but Lucas Weber is not gaining on us either. So we're in a very good spot here. And we go a little wide there, which is a bit annoying. And we go a little wide here. This corner has been my Achilles heel all race. Anyways, as we cut on to lap 15, we're just... onto lap 16. We've skipped ahead a lap. We're just running our race at this point. We're just saving battery. We're just saving tires. We're just saving fuel. But onto lap 16, as you can see, we've turned the ERS up and we've turned the engine mode up. We're going to go for our fastest lap of the race here. So we'll see what we can do. As we go through just towards the end of Sector 1, we are almost 3 tenths up. And here we are. We just quickly cut on to the battle between Kevin Magnussen and the McLarens. They're having an absolute fight here. As you saw earlier, Kevin Magnussen on the curb. Will he get past Lucas Weber? The hards actually seem like the better tyre as we're pulling from Weber. And Kevin Magnussen is actually catching Weber. He's putting pressure on him. So we're doing really well. As we go into the chicane, 5 tenths up on our best lap. Sure, we cut the corner there, but ignore that again. And as we enter the middle of Sector 3, the nice part of the circuit, we're going to use 4th gear into this corner, accelerate early. So we go into this final corner, brake a bit earlier than the braking line says. Get a good line, get a good exit onto the straight. Don't do that, actually. Just do what you normally do. Up to the line, chuck it in overtake mode. This is going to be our fastest lap of the race so far. And we do a 1:26.6. As we go back onto low and standard fuel. We're going to start conserving again. But as you can see, we pulled a 7-second gap out of Weber. That is incredible. As we continue on this lap, you can actually see that Magnussen has passed Weber. I'm not sure if he passed him on the first straight or the second straight, doesn't matter. But currently, it is a Haas P8 and P9. The only driver ahead of us that's doing better in terms of the best of the rest race is Sergio Perez. We've actually cut ahead about 5 laps here. We've had no challenge from Kevin Magnussen or from Lucas Weber or anyone. But this is another fastest lap attempt. I can't see how fast that is on the mini screen, but it looks like we're just about 3/100ths faster. We'll see how much faster we go. Going into the final sector. We've got about 6 laps to go of this race. And at the moment, we're just running our race. Like, there hasn't been much to talk about. There hasn't been much to commentate on. Anyways, as we come up to the line, here we go. What lap time will we do? It looks like we're going to do a 1:26.4. That's 2 tenths faster than our best lap of this race. As you can hear, Jeff tells us to lower the ERS deployment mode. We know that, Jeff. We were just going for the fast lap of the race. Because remember, this series is based off the F1 2019 career mode. So there are rivalries in this game. We do want to beat Kevin Magnussen's lap time. So that way we can negotiate better with other teams when I decide to move teams. And when I decide the story thinks we should move teams. We cut over, I don't know what turn that is anymore, pretty aggressively. We're not respecting track limits that well in this Haas. Maybe that's why the tyre wear is awful. Now, they're still ahead of Kevin Magnussen here. We're just running our race. Although, as you can see, looking at the minimap, Kevin is closing in on us. So he's no slouch. We're on lap 25 here. And he is closing in on us. Matter of fact, that gap has closed so closely. You can see that the little indicator arrow is on the screen, and now we've got to fight. But we have saved up our battery. We have saved up our fuel. I doubt Kevin has any battery or any fuel left. Yeah, just confirmation from Jeff. We've got 5 laps of fuel remaining. Anyways, here comes Kevin onto the main straight. Can he make a move on us? Going into turn 1, we raise our ERS deployment. We raise our fuel mode. We're at rich and overtake. Maximum deployment. We go to the inside. Can he get past us? He uses the DRS, but we just get ahead of him. Horrific flashback cut. I'm sorry. As we stay ahead of him onto lap 26, going into turn 2, Kevin just can't pass us. Anyways, we continue on. This is the last 3-4 laps of the race. We're going to have an absolute battle with Kevin here. We can't get Perez. And Robert Kubica is out of the race. And also, I forgot to mention that in the little cutoff area, it seems like Vettel has retired. So we're actually up into P7. So I'm sorry for my discrepancy, but I am quite new at doing these types of video formats. And anyways, Magnussen running up rear end. He's just can't make the move, but he slots back in. He's right up behind us. Can he make the pass with the DRS? We're going to go defensive here. No, we're not. We went defensive early in the straight, but not late in the straight. We go around his outside. We've just got so much more speed. And into this little right-hander here. Kevin is still running side by side with us, although this is the inside for us. We should be able to make the move here. We go late. We squeeze him out. And we've made the move stick. And no, we haven't. Kevin's hit us. Kevin's almost put us into a spin, but we continue on. We haven't lost a position. But Kevin's hit us. What was that for? Anyways, as we pass the area with Robert Kubica's yellow flag, Kevin can't pass us into turn 1. But as we head up to turn 2, we've got that contact in our mind. Will Kevin's being a bit desperate here. Will he make another move? He's not going to make a late lunge. With 2 laps to go, we're not far from the end. And we've just got to hold on. Kevin does seem a hell of a lot faster than us, but the team have not asked us to let him through. And also, there's no reason to let him through. The next car behind us is about 4 seconds, so and we're pulling from them. And also, Perez is about a whole sector up the road. So there's no reason to let him go. There's no reason that I need to sit behind him to defend for him. This is just Haas versus Haas, mono-y-mono. And we're going to see which one of us comes out on top.
The gap to the car ahead is 22.6 seconds.
We've managed to hold Kevin off the rest of this lap. There's not really an overtaking zone in the sector 3. But going back onto lap 28, the penultimate lap of the race, we're going to have to race Magnussen all the way to the line. 2 laps to go. Really make a move here. He's got the DRS. He's not close enough, but he's going to set it up for the next straight. Will he make the move? He's just behind us. He's a lot closer, though, this time. Is he going to make the move? He's closing. He's closing. He's made contact with us again. Going around the outside. The inside was free for him, but he decided to try and go around the outside. And we've held on because of it. We get up on the curb there. We've just survived that. That curb can normally spin you out if you get on it too quick. Yeah, 24 seconds to Perez. There's no way we're catching him. There's no reason I'm going to let Kevin Magnussen through in these last 2 laps. No matter what he's yelling at the team on the radio, no matter what he wants, we're going to defend like he's a rival driver, and we're going to defend this like we're driving for the championship. And this is it, the final lap of the race. This is for all the marbles. Who's gonna finish in 7th between the two Haas drivers? Is it going to be myself or Kevin Magnussen? There's about 1 minute and 30 seconds separating you and the answer. Let's see what happens. As we go down into turn 1, we cut the corner a bit. Kevin is right up behind us, so the indicator arrow is showing that he's just behind us, and he's actually lost time to us through turn 1. He's not going to make a move into turn 2. We hold on there, although he closes up majorly in the braking side, but on corner exit, we move to further the gap. Lewis Hamilton wins the race. As expected, the Mercedes drivers have just been OP in the past few years, and Lewis has won everything since the 2014 series, barring 2016. But anyways, as we approach the third sector on the Lakeside Drive, we didn't get a great exit out of the chicane. Kevin will be looking at that, although I don't think he's close enough to make a move. As we go into sector 3, we got a good line through the chicane. We don't lose the rear end. Kevin's indicator arrow is disappearing slowly. We're actually sitting on the middle of the track in case he goes for a banzai move, but he doesn't. He thinks better. He's got one last chance, and that's using the DRS going over the start-finish line. As we go into the final few corners, we think we've got him. We're just going to turn up the ERS all the way to maximum. Will he pass us? He's got the DRS. The indicator arrow is slowly getting more colourful, but he can't pass us. We finish in P7, and importantly, we beat our teammate in our first race in our home Grand Prix for the Haas F1 team.
So after a magnificent race, we can now see the drive. So then, it's time to see how this result affects the Drivers' Championship. After an incredible performance, Lewis Hamilton secures the top spot in the Drivers' Championship. After an incredible day of racing, who was your driver of the day, Ant?
Well, Lance Stroll would be my pick. He managed to keep a cool head today whilst pushing through the field.
Let's move on to the constructors. Mercedes moved to the top of the table. Well, that was certainly an incredible weekend of racing. Be sure to join myself and Ant.
Now, mate, points in your first F1 race, and in front of your hometown too. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, what can I say? Points in your first F1 race on your debut it's pretty surreal, especially in front of the home fans. The home fans, it definitely made it a lot better. It made it a lot more sweeter as well. Yeah, so yeah, it felt really good. Yeah.
Do you think that racing in front of your home fans helped calm the nerves a little bit?
No, racing in front of my home fans did not calm the nerves a lot. As a matter of fact, especially since it was my first race, it put on the pressure to perform. But hey, in the end, I did, and in the end, we got those points. So it felt good. But at the start of the race, I was sweating at the start of the race. Yeah.
Now, you and Kevin were quite close at the end of the race, but ultimately you came out on top. What are your opinions on him as a teammate?
Yeah, it was really close at the end there, and it's actually a pretty good battle. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I like Kevin as a teammate. We've worked well together over the winter, and we've developed the car through testing, and we've put the car in a very good position. Finishing 7th and 8th. The only other midfield runner that beat us this race being Sergio Perez. So we're doing very good in that sense, and our goal is for this year to get as many points as we can for the Haas team. And we hope to finish at the best in the midfield. We hope to finish. So that's our goal as teammates by the end of the season.
Now, we spoke to Kevin Magnussen after the collision between you two, and he was a bit disappointed that you didn't let him through, despite the fact that he was faster. Do you care to comment?
It's a bit of a shame that Kevin actually said that. I thought that I thought it would have been common sense that I was the one allowed to race for position, considering the fact that even had I let him through, Perez was over 20 seconds ahead of us, so there was no reason to let him through. So even if I had, he wouldn't have beaten anyone, he just would have finished ahead of me. And the team never came over the radio and asked me to let him through. It was radio silence. So I was never given the instruction to let Kevin pass. So I just raced like he was any other driver. So, yeah, I'm a bit disappointed in those comments, but I'll talk to him after the race. I'll talk to him after the interviews, and we'll see. We'll see if we can work something out. But yeah, I'm a bit disappointed in those comments, if I'm going to be honest. I want to apologise for the quality of this video. This video's quality is a bit low, mainly because, well, I need to get this out by as soon as possible, considering the fact I'm going to be gone for about a week. I just wanted to get it done. But also the fact that this series is going to be for me learning how to edit, how to commentate. It's just going to make, my videos, my streams, and all that better. Speaking of my streams, if you want to go on my Twitch, twitch.tv/Bilko367, you can follow me there. You can catch me streaming outside of videos. I'll be much more likely on Twitch than I will be on YouTube, so you can find me there. But if you like that video, hit the thumbs up, subscribe. If you didn't like the video, you know where that button is. Share it around with your friends. It helps a lot. And I don't know when episode 2 is going to come out. Like I said, I'm going to be gone for about a week, and I still need the voiceover sent to me. I do have episodes 1 through 4 recorded, though. So I, at the very least, have 4 in my backlog that I just need to edit. And I will be recording more when I get back from my holiday. So anyways, until then, I'll see you all later. Take care. Goodbye. Oh, and also, thank you, Sebastian, Thank you, Sebastian, for doing my voiceovers for me, for the commentary, well, not the commentary, the interview questions, the free practice notes, and the grid order. So yeah, go check me out on YouTube, link in the description. See y'all later. Bye-bye.